everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be all about products that I regret buying. So I do have a regret series. I will leave my playlist listed down below. About once a month I do a video from the series, either products I regret buying, don't regret buying, regret not buying, don't regret not buying, regret not trying sooner, all that fun stuff. So I have a bunch of videos in this playlist. And like I said, today I'm going to be going through, I just have a couple items here that I've purchased recently that I feel some regrets about, that I'm going to chat with you about them. So if you want to see my makeup regrets, why don't we go ahead and get started. So first up on my list, I just kind of keep a running list of these, and then once I get usually around like 5 or 6 products, I'll go ahead and film a video. And this was the first item on my new list for this video, and it was from a couple months back, but it was the Beautylish Lucky Bag. Now I did do a video here on YouTube unboxing my Beautylish Lucky Bag. I'll leave it listed down below. I think this was back around January, and I was disappointed in the bag for a couple different reasons, and not everything necessarily has to do with what came in the bag, but it was kind of like my circumstances at that time too, and it just kind of all made me, it just kind of all culminated into one like big giant regret when it came to the Beautylish Lucky Bag. So if you're not familiar, I think maybe it's once a year towards the end of the year that Beautylish does these lucky bags, and you can purchase one online, and basically it's just a mystery bag. You'll get, I think there's like a certain dollar amount that each bag will have, and it'll be all brands that are sold on the Beautylish website. You know, Charlotte Tilbury and Too Faced and Becca, and you know, all these brands that are sold on Beautylish, you'll have certain items in your lucky bag. And there's 2 different sizes of lucky bags that you can do. There's a smaller one, which is $75, and then there's also a larger one, which I think is over $100. I think it's like $125, but your dollar amount is larger. And I put this in a will I buy it video. A lot of these regret videos I kind of have as like a follow-up to my will I buy it videos, because that's where I kind of talk about, did I make a purchase? Which category did it fall into? Did I not make a purchase? Do I regret not buying it? You know, or do I not regret passing over it? That sort of thing. But I put it in my will I buy it video, and I was like, I think I'm gonna do it this year. You know, I watched everybody's unboxings last year, and it seemed like so many people were excited and they got some really good things, and a lot of the bags I was like, oh my gosh, I want that bag. And so I decided to go ahead and do it. And when I got my bag, I was fairly disappointed with what was inside. And you know, I remember that I got like a sheet mask, and I got a Wayne Goss brush, I got a lipstick from Jeffree Star, and I got a Natasha Denona like glow, liquid glow thing. And then I also got this palette here. This is from Viseart, one of the Theory palettes in Nuance, I believe it is. Yeah. And it just was kind of a bummer to me, because there was like certain brands that I don't really use in there, or items that I don't really use, like the Natasha Denona Glow Liquid Glow. I know that's really big, especially right now, but I'm still not, even though that's like the trend, I still don't use those types of products. So I ended up selling a lot of the things on my Poshmark because I didn't even open them, swatch them, use them, anything. The only item that I kept out of there was the Viseart Theory palette. And honestly, I've used it a couple times, and I'm not like the biggest fan of it. I think these are either the $30 or the $45. I think these ones are the $45, which is crazy to me, but you know, if you think about everything that I decided to keep in the bag, I paid $75 for this, which is kind of a bummer. You know, I was able to sell a couple things on Poshmark. I did sell them for a lot cheaper though, you know, since I got a discount on the bag too. I had them listed at cheaper prices and everything. So I think I was just, you know, I was just disappointed. It was, for me personally, and I think a hard thing with the Beautylish Lucky Bags is, you know, some people were commenting on my video like, I would love to have your bag, and I'm watching other people's videos who are disappointed in their bags, and I'm like, I would have loved your bag. You know, it's just a gamble, and I think, and I knew that going into it, of course. You know that upfront going into it, you're not picking out what is in your bag, and I knew that, and it was the risk that I took. So I'm not blaming anybody else or anything, but I think what I realized is that I think $75 is too big of a gamble for me to take on makeup. You know, it's not like your $10 Ipsy bag. It's not even the BoxyCharm, which is I think like $22 or $23 or something. It's $75, and you also pay for shipping, so I think the total price was $82. So $82 for only one item in there that I kept and that I used. That's a bummer. So I think next year I don't have plans to get the Beautylish bag, because it's just too big of a risk. If it works and you get items in there that you love and you're excited about, that's so freaking fantastic. But if you don't, that's a lot of money that kind of went down the drain. And I think when I mentioned like my circumstances, I received the bag in the mail the day after my husband lost his job. And so, you know, we're in like a state of panic and we're so upset, and it's like, can we even pay our bills? We're losing our health insurance. And I just bought an $82 bag of makeup that I didn't know what was inside. You know, and I feel like, I remember like opening the bag and just feeling like you are so stupid. And you know, it just was the circumstances at that time, and that just did not help anything. But I feel like I'm always gonna hold on to that feeling now. So that's another reason why I just kind of regretted it. The timing was so terrible for my personal life, and yeah, it was just bad. So I think next year when the Beautylish Lucky Bag gets announced, I will not do it. I think it's just too much money to put the risk on, and I feel like now I just have like bad juju surrounding the Beautylish Lucky Bag that I wouldn't be able to do it. But you know, I tried it. It didn't work for me. It works for so many people, but unfortunately, that one was a big regret for me. I have a couple lip products that I regret buying. This one here is from Fenty Beauty, and it's one of the Mademoiselle lipsticks, and this is in the shade Up to No Good. I like the packaging on it. I think it's cute. I think this was like an $18 lipstick, I want to say. This is what it looks like here, and it's a really interesting kind of like peachy orange color. I did a lipstick declutter recently, and I decided to keep this one because the color is more unique in my collection, but I truly don't really like the formula on this one. It's a dry formula. It goes on the lips nice, like it feels nice when it goes on, but it is a matte lipstick and it just dries very awkwardly on my lips. I do have dry lips, especially when we're in the winter time, which, you know, we're coming out of, so I was wearing this a lot in the colder months and it just looked bad on my lips. So the reason I kept it in the declutter was, yeah, you know, this is the only one that I have from that collection, so sometimes it's nice for comparison wise. Yeah, it's a color I don't have, but I think one of the biggest reasons that I bought the lipstick and I decided to keep the lipstick is that Fenty Beauty is a brand that you get a lot of flack for if you don't love everything from the brand. If you don't try everything from the brand, you don't fall in love with everything from the brand, a lot of people come at you and they come at you really hard. So I'm like nervous talking about this because I know people are gonna say mean things in my comments, but it's been interesting because there's been a couple videos floating around that I've seen. I know I've seen Elle do it for sure. I can leave her video link down below, but talking about brands that you're not allowed not to like. And I feel like Fenty is one of those brands. And I mean, do I like Fenty as a brand? Yeah, and I think Rihanna is the bomb. I think what she created is really cool. And obviously Fenty's done a lot of really awesome things in the beauty community, but that doesn't mean that I have to love every single product and that I can or will or can afford or want to try every single product that they come out with. And I don't know. So I felt like that kind of went into me purchasing this lipstick. So I was like, I didn't really love the foundation, and oh my goodness, did I really hear it from that. I think I even tried it on in a video and you could tell it didn't look good on my dry skin. A matte foundation didn't look great on my dry skin. That's not shocking. A lot of them don't. And people were just tearing into me left and right. And I'm like, what is going on here? So I think that kind of played into why I decided to purchase it. It's almost like, look, I have a Fenty lipstick, like, don't be mad at me. And then when I was decluttering it, I was like, oh my gosh, if I declutter a Fenty lipstick, people are going to rip me a new one. But again, I do like the color. I think it's a unique color, but I can't wear it for long periods of time because otherwise my lips just look crazy and like they're gonna crack off. But I kind of regret doing that because I feel like I regret letting those comments get to me. You know, that's my biggest regret when it comes to this. I regret letting those comments get under my skin to the point where I feel like it influenced my purchases, if that makes sense. So it's kind of what I think about the Fenty lipstick. And then also another one that I regret buying is the Dose of Colors lip gloss. I purchased one of their lip glosses from Ulta Beauty in Honey I'm Home. I actually decluttered it in my lip gloss declutter and I sent it off to a friend. So I don't have it anymore in my collection. Since I had used it, I wasn't going to put it on my Poshmark or put it in a giveaway or anything. So I just sent it over to a friend for them to try. I'm not a big lip gloss person. I've kind of been wearing them more recently, but I'm just not, I mostly gravitate towards liquid lipsticks. So I'm not a big gloss person, but I still paid like the $17 or something for the Dose of Colors lip glosses, which is pretty pricey. And I was really disappointed that I didn't like it. So it was just a little bit too thick for me and a little bit too sticky. And the color, like, it was very nicely pigmented for a lip gloss. It wasn't very sheer. I mean, it had good color to it, but it was kind of like that. It was like a brown orange almost that just is not flattering on my skin tone, and I was just so bummed. Like the moment I put it on, I was like, shoot. But I love Dose of Colors. I love Dose of Colors liquid lipsticks. They're some of my favorites, so I was like, no, you got this. You're gonna make this work. Like, put it over certain lipsticks, you're going to love it. And I just ended up not loving it, and then it was too late to take it back to Ulta. So I decluttered it, sent it to a friend. Hopefully they like it more than I did, but yeah, that was a bummer. One of my newer purchases that I regret buying, this will probably come to no surprise if you've been watching my videos lately, is the Sunday Riley Influencer Foundation. Man, I am so bummed about that foundation. I returned it. I don't have it anymore. I took it back to Sephora. I exchanged it for the CoverFX Power Play Foundation, but I did a video where I was putting it on. I did like my Sephora VIB sale haul try on video, and you could tell that I'm like, ooh, I'm not sure about this foundation. I did also review it. I'll have those videos linked down below, and I just said it did not work out well for me. It's not very good coverage wise. It says it's medium to full coverage. It's like light to medium coverage. It seemed to transfer. It seemed to be coming off my face after just a couple hours. It was breaking up in weird places. It was settling into any and every line on my skin. It seemed like no matter how I applied it or the primers that I used, it just was not a very long wearing foundation, and it just didn't look super flattering on me as the time progressed. It was one of those foundations that, like, when I put it on and got the rest of my makeup on, like for the next hour, like I looked really good, like hour to 2 hours. Like I looked good. I felt like my skin looked good. It felt nice on my skin. It felt nice and lightweight. Nothing felt too heavy or too cakey on me. But there was just so many cons that I just couldn't justify keeping it. I think it was $42. And like I said, I exchanged it for the CoverFX Power Play. I did a first impressions recently. And based off first impressions, I like that one a lot more. I have it on again today. I can leave that one down below, but that one was $44. But I bought the Influencer Foundation in the VIB sale, so I did get a little bit of a discount on it, but I still ended up taking it back because it was no good, and I was super bummed about that because I was really, really looking forward to that foundation. But yeah, I just have one more item left here on my list. It's another item that I purchased in the VIB sale, and unfortunately it's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Bronzer in Tawny. So I still have mine, but I'm actually going to Ulta tomorrow, and I'm planning on returning this, and there's a couple items that I want to check out and see if they're in store at Ulta, including that new Urban Decay setting powder. I'm thinking maybe I could exchange it for this, but unfortunately this is just a color thing. The color match did not look good on me at all. It pulled more orange on me. Some people, I also did review this, and I mentioned that some people said the Anastasia bronzers are supposed to be more red, which is to be more of a natural bronzer on the skin, like you've been out in the sun. But unfortunately on me, I just felt like it was pulling orange, and I didn't feel very confident when I was wearing this bronzer, and I just felt like I was spending so much time really blending it out, and I didn't feel confident wearing this. So why keep a makeup product that you don't feel confident with? I do have two lights shining at me because unfortunately it's raining outside right now. So I don't think it's coming across on camera as dark as it is. And this was one of those things, like I opened it and was like, oh, I don't think that's gonna be my shade. And I think this is like the second lightest one. I thought that's what I chose. You know, some people are saying I could exchange it for a different color, but another part that goes into me regretting buying this is I wasn't thinking clearly, and I knew that the Marc Jacobs Omega Tantastic Bronzer was going to be coming back in stock. I knew it was coming back, and just when I was making my list for the VIB sale, it was one of those things where like I was so excited, and I had this on my loves list, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I should get that one. And I added it to my cart, and if I just would have stopped and like thought about it for a second, I would have remembered that a week after the VIB sale or whatever it was, the Marc Jacobs bronzer was coming back in stock, and that was a $49 bronzer. Luckily, I was still able to purchase it with the, you know, the special access VIB Rouge or whatever, so I still got the 15% off, which was good. But if I would have remembered that, I would have not have also purchased this, and because I purchased the Too Faced Natural Face Palette in the VIB sale as well, and that has 2 bronzers in it. So, I mean, I bought 4 bronzers in a 1 week period, 2 week period. Like, that's silly. And if I just would have calmed down for a second and remembered that, I would not have purchase this one anyways. So when people are saying I could exchange it for a different color, I totally could, but it doesn't make sense for me to purchase that many bronzers at one time. My bronzer collection is fairly small. I'm side-eyeing it right now. It's a fairly small collection compared to other parts of my makeup collection, and I would like to keep it that way. And so that's just too many bronzers at one time. So I would rather just return this and exchange it for something else that I want a little bit more. So it kind of goes into both of that. I wasn't thinking clearly. I knew I was going to try to purchase that Marc Jacobs bronzer. I did get it. So, and then also just the color match. You know, if the coloring would have worked on me and I would have really loved it, I still would have kept it. But because it also just doesn't look great on me, I'm going to go ahead and return this tomorrow when I head over to my Ulta. But after that, that is going to be all of my makeup purchases recently that I regret buying. I guess so that is everything for today's video, chatting over some of my makeup regrets recently. I hope that you enjoyed hearing all of my reasonings behind why I regretted these purchases or why I decided to return or exchange certain things. I'd love to know if you have anything recently that you regret buying. And of course, my regret series playlist will be listed down below. Like I said, I do these videos about once a month. So if you enjoy seeing this style of video, make sure to check out that playlist. But other than that, if you guys did enjoy today's video, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video.